Hello, and welcome to the four-part special edition, very special Disney episodes. These episodes all deal with uh, either anti-feminism or bullying. Um, I'm Coaster Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider,
Hi, I'm Kay.
aka this generation's Carol King. Um, that's a reference. You don't remember?
Yes, I do.
This episode is called Rate a Rooney. The main plot, there's two main plots, and then there's kind of a small micro plot. Um, let's get the micro plot done first. The father's birthday is coming up. Pete, I believe, and his
Did you even say the show?
yeah, Liv and Maddie.
Oh, okay.
The show's Liv and Maddie.
Didn't hear you. Sorry.
And if nothing else, I'm gonna post like the pic of the show as like the thumbnail.
Okay, go on.
And the playlist. Anyway, the small plot involves the parents where the dad wants is where the mother buys like this weird like fish steampunk kind of metal object.
And she places it on the table right in front of the TV.
The reason why is because they have no more room for anything.
Yep.
So he decides for his birthday he wants -5 things. He wants them to get rid of 5 things in their house, which that would be a really easy birthday present for my dad. I'd be like, okay, your thing. This can get rid of. Anyway, so they go through and they pick a bunch of like really weird things that he goes through and picks really weird things that he doesn't think the house needs, but then they find usage for one of them. The B plot involves Parker and Joey having a dispute because they're in the same room. And Kay, you grew up with several sisters. Did you ever have to share a room?
Yes, with 2 other sisters most of the time.
And did you ever end up like splitting the room in half?
No.
Oh.
We had bunk beds and a bed.
Oh. Would you have done it if you had the chance?
No, it's very hard to split up a room into 3s.
You can split up into thirds.
They weren't that big.
Anyway, so Parker decides to outmaneuver Joey by picking the bottom half of the room, which she calls Parklandia.
Yeah. Well, they rolled a dice, and Joey got 17 and Parker got number 20.
Mm-hmm.
So Parker got to pick which part of the room he wanted, and Joey thought when he made the bet he would take left half or right half, not top or bottom.
But Joey outmaneuvers him with some mountain climbing gear and a small pup tent, creating Sky City.
Yep.
Which contains mainly cheese, individually wrapped cheese slices, and chocolate milk.
Yep.
JJ's Breakfast of Champions, right?
I guess.
And while they are spatting, it does kind of show that Joey does care for Parker in the end. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
And that even though they fight, they still have a bond. Yeah, they still have a bond for each other. Kind of like me and you. Or maybe not. Anyway, I'm kidding. And then the A plot, which I think I should be quiet while Kay talks about, because I don't think as a dude I should really comment much on it.
So the A plot is some of the guys start rating the girls between 1 and 10 on how they dress, how they look, and stuff like that.
Basically their hotness factor. I apologize.
And some of the girls that are on the basketball team don't like that.
No, the girls in general in school.
True. So they try to incorporate that, if everybody was plain and the same by wearing garbage bag dresses and grocery bag paper bags over their head, they couldn't rate them any different than who they were. And
Willow
Willow came in nicely dressed, beautiful dress. And she came in and she was just walking by, loving the attention. But then she got to know it also. So I'm new to this show, so I'm not sure who is.
This would be like,
who is Maddie? Is she the sports or the actress singer?
I think Maddie is the athlete.
Okay, then Liv
is the singer.
Okay,
actor.
And Liv is back home.
She's been home for a while.
Yeah,
now.
And she wants to do her songwriting at home, be inspired by what's going on in the area and how she feels in that.
After the success of you and me and the beat.
Yeah. So
look it up, it's pretty catchy.
She wanted to start writing a song about the forest fires, but that didn't go too well.
What was it, Glitter or something?
I don't know. And then another song about her arms or whatever. And
it was with chairs, which that would have been hilarious.
So then she gets the idea to write a song about what the girls are feeling and that no girl should be changed.
No girl should change.
Should change by what another person thinks.
What guys think.
So she writes a catchy tune and she's got a little bit of a music video to go with it. And
I think that was a montage.
Okay, montage.
Well, it was kind of a music video at the very end. Now, what was your opinion on the special message that was kind of obvious?
It's so true, but it's hard to live it. You've got to have support of other girls or friends or women in your school that will help you get through this. Because it's a tough time going through high school. Very tough. It's a tough time going through any school these days.
I would say just life I would say it wasn't just high school, it's probably more like a life in general.
Yeah, probably. Thank you.
I'm just guessing. Meow. So, who would you say was the main best actor? Or the MVP?
I think Maddie was the sports girl.
I think Liv was, because her singing was like it was her idea to do the garbage bags and...
Right, but Maddie is the one that
she felt
it first and got the girls together.
Okay. Okay, so, I could see that.
And I could see Liv being an actress, singer, or whatever, putting her style on it. So she empowered the girls by her song.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it could be either.
Well, did you have a favorite line?
No.
And what did you think of the song, What a Girl Is?
I thought it was good. It was appropriate for high school girls, junior high girls.
And it had good message.
Yep.
Would you tell people to watch this episode?
Yes. Especially in this day and time.
Mm-hmm. I would as well. And thank you. And this is part 1 of 4 parts, very special episodes. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, what's up? I'm Coaster Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider, and this is part 2 of the 4-part special in this playlist of Disney very special episodes. Not necessarily on cameos and crossovers, so to speak, but more about commentaries on feminism and bullying. I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Kay.
See how I changed the conversation?
Yep, first you did.
I just realized how distasteful that joke was, and I apologize. in the previous one that we reviewed, Raider Rooney, that one kind of talked about how women were judged based on their physical appearance. This one, I think, was that times 50 and is, even though it was a while ago, is way more relevant nowadays than it probably was when they did it. So ahead of the curve right there. The episode had 3 plots. The first one was Joey returning a library book that had syrup on it.
Pancake syrup.
So,
Because he had pancakes and syrup in his backpack, and he got them on the book.
And so Dump Truck decides to use his locker, or decides to ask him for a favor at a future time. He says sure, because you seem like an upstanding man.
And you should tell him Dump Truck is like a hall monitor, but he's the police of the library books.
The way I would describe him is Tony Soprano's son. I can't put it much clearer than that. You?
Yep, that's pretty clear.
Okay, so he does use the locker, and he says, "Okay, Joey, don't go in there, okay?" That's my terrible Italian accent.
Can't go in there until he says so.
Yeah. And they overhear him talking about how this guy, they don't have to worry about him anymore. And it leads Joey and Willow to think that he killed somebody.
And there was a dead body stuffed in his locker.
Yeah, and they're extremely worried. Should we reveal what happened or keep that a secret?
Oh, you could keep it a secret right now.
Okay. The B plot was with Maddie and Parker, where Maddie has an overdue library book that she said she returned, but she didn't, which I think we can all relate.
Yep.
I'm still trying to find that book from like 19 years ago. Anyway, we moved. So Parker then realizes where that book is. It's in the Parker tunnel, in like the main Parker hangout area. And he can't return the book because that's basically the support beam to the entire foundation of the house.
Right. So you should tell him what Parker does.
Well, they tried moving it once, and Joey was either drinking like a milkshake or chocolate milk, and got it like poured all over him because it was practically an earthquake. So then they're torn, and so they decide to pick their mom's cookbook because she bought a cookbook and she's promised for years to make pad thai, and she hasn't, and I think we can all relate to that. I'm sorry, but I think we can all relate.
Yeah.
And so
You want your mom to make a certain recipe, and she doesn't.
Yeah. And then that kind of gets resolved with swapping the Thai book for the library book.
Yep.
With questionable results.
Well, at the time.
Yeah. And then the A plot, I will be quiet right now.
The A plot is Liv is going back out to wherever the awards was going to be at.
Probably Hollywood.
Hollywood, probably, for red carpet. And she mentioned to her mom before she took the trip out there.
Well, first they did a Q&A.
Right, they did a Q&A on Voltage.
And, yeah.
And a lot of the young women were asking, what shoes are you wearing? Oh, where'd you get your dress? I like your hair. I like your makeup. You're so pretty today. And Liv is like, why do they always ask...
No, Willow wonders.
Oh, Willow is wondering, why do they always ask you about your looks and your fashion and everything, and then ask, what's the guy's name? The actor that's with her, how he feels in his role, the TV show, and all that.
So on the red carpet...
Well, before she gets out there, Liv
Yeah.
talks to her mom, and her mom is like, well, change the conversation.
And Kay just dropped a mom bomb.
Yep. So she went out there to the red carpet, and
She got bombarded with the exact same questions, including World Meets News, which
yeah, I've never heard of them, but
I want to make a fake news joke, but I'm not going to.
okay. And so then she sees Kristen Bell,
Mm-hmm.
and then Kristen is answering questions, and then Liv goes, how about we change the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
So then a reporter came up to them, and she kind of took the mic, Kristen Bell and Liv, and they started to say, why don't you ask me a question about this? How I feel about that? And, you know, they went on and on.
Yeah, like, I like fashion, but that's not all I am.
Right. So then she's on the set again, and Voltage, and she starts getting questions from fans about...
Well, more,
like,
she also gets she gets a compliment first.
oh, yes, she gets a compliment about what she said on the red carpet and everything. And then the female fans were starting to ask her how she feels, what charity does she like, you know, more important questions.
And what's her biggest achievement?
Yes, and how she feels playing a superhero in that. So then you go back to plot B, where they exchange the books so Maddie can get her transcripts to apply for college, and they take the pad Thai, or whatever the book is called, something in Thai, and then
Win, lose, or tie.
Win, lose, or tie, yeah. And then they're at school, and Maddie's like, I returned the book, now I get my transcripts, now all I need is my birth certificate. And her mom is right there, and she says in front of Parker and in front of Maddie, oh, I keep all the important papers in my Thai cookbook. And they look at each other like, oh my God, that's what's supporting the house now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
who would you say this episode's MVP was?
probably Liv.
Yeah.
You know, she wanted to make a statement and change the thinking about women in their roles. You know, they're not just pretty things, they are there acting and stuff like that. So
They're more than just hair and makeup.
Yep.
And clothes.
Yep, you said it.
Were there any memorable bits? Because I have two.
Nah. It was all kind of good.
The two bits were with Kristen Bell that I enjoyed. The one was like what they should do to the reporters. Taking their microphones and bashing their car headlights.
Yeah.
And she was in it. She was like, come on, let's do that.
Yeah.
Which now, she scares me now. And if I ever meet her, I'll make sure that our car is about 500 miles away. Or we have insurance. And the other one was the hand gestures to both the mom and
Elrune's mom and Kristen Bell's kids.
Yeah. I thought those hand gestures were pretty funny. What did you think about the main message?
It was true that, you know, if you like what you do and you're passionate about it, you're not just that actress, that actor. You are a person, you do have other things, and you don't want to always be asked the cookie cutter questions.
I think it was more about how the women were kind of being pigeonholed into being asked fashion questions.
Fashion, makeup, hair, dress, shoes, purse.
He didn't seem to mind being asked action and various other questions.
True.
Would you tell people to watch this episode?
Yeah.
I would as well. Now here's the big question. This episode or Rate a Rooney, which one do you think was better?
Good question.
See? I changed the questions.
Yes, you did.
And I do realize how distasteful all of these comments are.
I think Raid a Rooney
was more universal, and this is more of just celebrity commentary.
Right.
Sorry to take the words out of your mouth.
That's okay.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to say?
Nope. Story 2 down.
2 more to go. After dealing with, I'm gonna write down a word and you tell me if I can say it. After dealing with these issues, we're now going to go on to the topics of bullying.
Okay.
Specifically, cyberbullying.
Okay, bring it on.
Again, very topical nowadays.
Yepers.
Okay.
Take care. Bye for now.
No, say who you are. Until next time, I'm Coaster Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider.
And I'm Kay. Catch on the rebound.
Ask other questions. Hey everyone, I'm Coaster Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider.
Hey, and I'm Kay. How you doing?
And after dealing with, this is the 3rd episode in this 4-part series, and after dealing with, kind of, anti-woman social commentary, this episode of Austin and Ally decided to deal with cyberbullying commentary.
Yep.
And one thing I want to say is, it's much more blatant than the Liv and Maddie commentaries.
Yep.
There's kind of just one main plot. Would you agree?
Yes. The school was putting on a play,
Of Sleeping Beauty. And the coach either had questionable taste or didn't care because he assigned... He completely miscast several of the main categories. Or several of the main parts. For example,
but that's to other people and not to him.
Yeah, like to the Wicked Witch was played by a cheerleader. Who was like totally peppy and awesome!
Yep.
And performed pretty much how you'd expect. I don't remember. I know he's been in previous episodes, but there was a guy who was talking like this. He was talking about
a gentleman that
and he was the narrator.
Asian, and he was the narrator.
But he was very, very soft spoken.
Right.
Kind of
so
like what
if you watched
kind of
Pitch
like
Perfect. Yeah, if you watch Pitch Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
The one young lady that she was also, I believe, Asian or whatever. She would talk very quietly. That hardly anybody could hear her.
I like to set fires.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
So, Austin and Ally, they think they're gonna be signed Prince Charming and Sleeping Beauty,
Yep.
but instead they're cast as Townsfolk 2 and Townsfolk 1 respectively.
Yes.
Where they only have one line, and Ally is a real, she wants to expand that role.
Yes.
Where she brings props like a loaf of bread and a banana.
Yep.
And tries to give her character a name.
Yeah. Julie, who lives in the town.
Queen Esmeralda says, "Good voyage. It's over yonder. Good job."
Yeah.
And I did like Allie's response to whenever he said over yonder.
She's like, what? She wanted him to be more descriptive, more, I don't know.
More better, yeah. Des and Trish were assigned the roles as Prince Charming and Sleeping Beauty, respectively.
Yep.
And in this episode, Carrie plays a elm tree, I believe.
She picked the elm.
Yeah.
She first said oak, and then she said pine.
Yeah.
And then elm.
Was there a difference between them? But oh well.
No, they were all the same.
She's kind of ditzy.
But Austin came in and said, "Oh, you decided to play the elm.
Good choice."
Oh, yeah.
And so Trish gets assigned the role of Sleeping Beauty, and she's one of those. She's one of those people, kind of like me, not so much Kay, that can fall asleep in a few minutes, and stay asleep even through loud noises. Would you agree?
Yep.
But that's when things kind of start going downhill when she gets the part of Sleeping Beauty, because someone, and let's not say who it is, okay?
Right.
Somebody starts posting comments about how she's ugly, and it should be called Sleeping Ugly instead of Sleeping Beauty, and how she is she stinks or something, so they should call it Stinking Beauty or something.
Yep. And they put a mirror on her locker
with soap,
and
it's broken.
They make it look broken
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and
and
it's tough being a kid in school and wanting to follow your dreams.
She kind of keeps like a I don't care, but when she's by herself, she does
Breaks
cry,
down.
and it is moving and emotional.
Yes. But she's got friends.
And then when Austin, Allie, Des, and Carrie find out, they all even though she and Des don't like each other, or she doesn't like Des still, feels bad for her, and
Yep.
I like those instances where characters that have previously hated each other, they still show that they like each other.
Yeah. Why not?
Because I think that's more character building and better acting than when they're hating each other.
Yep.
So the bullying gets to Trish, and as a result, that she has this disease where she can't.
She doesn't have a disease.
Yeah.
She gets sick. She can't go to school.
She has some illness that affects her during school
Right.
hours.
They didn't say disease. An illness. Illness is not a disease.
She gets sick during school hours.
Right.
And then she wants to be homeschooled because, mainly because of the bullying, where it gets worse and worse. And Austin and Allie decide to write her a song called Superhero. And they want to try to help her, but she has no idea on how to get help. Which this affects a lot of people, not just kids and teens, but I know of some people that have committed suicide over bullying, over cyberbullying. I really hope that's appropriate, to mention.
Yeah. So anyway, life is tough as a kid these days.
And then Des and Carrie find out who it is, and so they decide to get revenge on that person.
And she didn't like it because she saw what they did.
Trish didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then the coach at that point was really Mr. Exposition by saying Trish, if that's the case, then you can talk to me or a parent or a guardian. We've been through that.
Right. He said people made fun of him when he had long hair.
And a squeaky voice, which was pretty. That was one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know this was a serious episode, but that was still one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
That and the cheerleader trying to act like an evil witch.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yes. the narrator that
Mhm.
talked that hardly anybody could hear what he was saying.
And
Or what about when she was playing Sleeping Beauty and Prince Charming comes along and he wants to kiss her to awaken her.
but she's still like
she starts snoring after the second attempt.
They're like, she is such a good sleeper.
Right, the director said. And she stayed sleeping through the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Of the show, of the play,
yeah.
Not the show. So then it ends with the four of them sitting there together.
That part, if I thought one part was kind of weak, I thought that part was kind of weak because they had already talked about, like, if you're being bullied, talk to a parent or a guardian. They had already said that.
Right.
And then at the end, when they were talking about, like, mean comments that they have received, fortunately no one cares about my channel, so far I'm okay. But I do know that cyberbullying exists.
I think that what they were trying to do is, in their line of work, as an actor or an actress or whatever, they still have a lot of things that are said about them that are bad, that aren't nice, that people... They were trying to get across that you should think before you say something. You could
before you post, especially, or before you post something.
You could really hurt somebody's feelings, and you know.
And is this something that you'd be okay with your parents or your teacher?
Yeah, your grandparents.
Yeah.
Would they like to see you posting this stuff?
And Laura's grandmother would have a thing or two to say about some mean comments, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So
I think they were trying to relate to people that this show's demographics are towards.
And I understand Disney wanting to make the world a better place. Who would you say was the MVP? Because I'm torn between two of them.
I was thinking Allie.
I was thinking Trish and Des.
Oh, okay.
Because they were both acting outside of their character. Trish,
they got parts that they... Well, Trish got the part she wanted, but...
Well, no, not saying that.
Des wanted to be a blacksmith.
I'm not... That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying Trish is usually like the... I don't care and... I'll do what I want.
Tough as nails. Yeah.
But you see her in this...
she's vulnerable.
Yeah, which I think that's very powerful. And Des, usually see him as like a goofball. And in this, you saw his more emotional side. You saw how he really cares for Trish, even though Trish doesn't necessarily care for him.
Right.
And trying to get back and trying to, like, help Trish is also, like, very character built. Is strong character.
Yes.
Would you tell people to watch this episode?
Yes. All of these episodes have a meaning for everybody.
I would definitely tell everyone in the world to watch this episode. I don't want anyone to end it because of some dude. Yeah. Or some random person.
And there's different ways of getting to somebody to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Austin and Allie were trying through a song.
Yeah.
You know, so a song could help you, you know, just calling an 800 number that can help victims, reaching out to your parents.
I don't think they said call an 800 number.
No, they didn't. I just said it.
Okay. Did you have any favorite moments?
I think the end when they were all talking together.
Also the which type of tree should I be?
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
Yep.
Anyway, we gotta go. We'll be back with one more episode, also about cyberbullying.
Okay. Catch you later. This
Bye.
is Kay.
Roller Coaster Rider. Stay nice. Hey, what's up? I'm Coaster Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider, and I'm gonna be dealing with this one solo. Kay had to hang out with a family member, and so that's more important than talking about Disney Channel shows. In this episode of Bizaardvark, this episode is episode 3, season 1. Frankie has a hater. In this one, this is part 2 of cyberbullying and part 4 overall. I would say that this one is probably the most. It deals with it more comedically than Raider Rooney, Ask Her More Rooney, and especially Beauties and Bullies, which was very serious and depressing given the deep subject matter and the heavy subject matter. The show has really 2 main plots and a small plot involving Dude Bro. I'm gonna call him that, just Dude Bro. The Dude Bro plot. when someone complains about him having looking like he needs a shower, he decides to go in a bathtub over Niagara Falls. He then brings a bathtub and he says, like, do you think that they'll allow this as carry-on? And when he tried to do it, he got kicked off the plane for bringing that on. For the most part, that's the overall arc of that C plot. The B plot involves Amelia, her manager, or her assistant, doesn't tell her about mean comments, and when she finds out that she has a mean comments, one of them, it turns out, is that she's not a good role model for young girls because she just focuses on makeup and stuff, which it is from Disney, but it is relevant to Ask Her More a Rooney, and maybe even Raider Rooney a little bit, but I'm sure that does exist. I imagine a lot of women want to try to be good role models for younger women. So she tries to kind of like smarten up and science up her channel by talking about how to like stylize a lab coat. And then she decides to go to Paige and Frankie's school undercover, and then she goes into the science lab where she finds out that the science lab are actually fans of Perfect Perfection with Amelia, because they say that a girl can be both smart and look pretty, and that's how she kind of gains her confidence back. The A plot, which is a majority of the episode, and it's kind of where the B plot and C plot kind of like branch off from, but they're all still kind of connected in this one main overall story, involves Paige and Frankie finding out that they have a hater, so to speak, on their channel, and Paige kind of, blows it off when it talks about how she doesn't know what to do with her hands, which leads to a pretty funny gag involving balloon things that you see outside of car dealerships, which is pretty funny. And then they say that Frankie isn't funny, where she kind of takes it a little more. It kind of affects her more, where she has a nightmare about it, where she tries to come up with new characters, because previously she had come up with like a hipster zombie where it was like, I want to eat your brains, or chicken. I can go either way. And another character, but then when she tried to come up with like hot chocolate vampire and scary and goofy ghost and stuff, it didn't work because it was clearly affecting her, and she was going crazy. And then they decided to go to the extreme route of trying to track down the hater by using like the internet code or using like the modem and stuff. So they then trace it back to the school. They trace it back to their school. So they go to their school and they try to do something that would make their hater be more relevant, and everyone just leaves, causing confusion. So then they interrogate this kid who was on his computer, who's on his laptop, while Frankie, that person left a mean comment. They then, like I said, they interrogate him, involving taking out all of the letter keys of his computer, which, that'd be a bummer. They then find out who the bad guy is after Frankie creates a new character called the Emotional Interrogation Policeman, I think, something like that. They find out who the hater is and why they're doing it, and that kind of inspires them to make a song about it called Love for the Haters, even though the lyrics are, well, yeah, they're Love for the Haters. Oh, no, wait, the theme song is Gotta Love the Haters, not Love for the Haters, so there you go. Which was pretty funny, involving country music. It involved robots. It involved a dude playing with phones, and it involved them becoming guys, which was pretty funny. And then very soon after they all watch it, they get another hater, which starts the cycle all over again. And so they all gain back their confidence after being knocked down a peg from hateful comments. This is one where it was more kind of humorous than the previous three that I've mentioned, but I don't know, as a result it kind of doesn't make it seem like it's a big thing. Cyberbullying is big, it is real, it does have very, very disappointing consequences. People have ended their lives over mean comments, and I hope none of you do. So, probably for me, the best part was when Paige was one of those balloon things that you see outside of car dealerships. That was pretty funny. That was pretty much it. Bernie Shots, and Dude Bro didn't necessarily have a lot to do. They were more kind of like side characters, including Bernie, who in one scene has nothing to do, so he just tries to see how long he can last inside a Dude Bro's armpit. They didn't really... The message was even though it was the main plot, I don't think it was strong enough. I don't think the commentary was strong enough. Which I feel weird saying that, because Beauties and Bullies, I talked about how the message was a little too strong. But, so yeah, that's my opinion on it. I hope none of you get bullied. I hope none of you leave mean comments. And I hope that, the internet will soon be a more positive place. And remember, are these comments you would say to somebody's face? Anyway, till next time, I'm Coaster Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider. Bye. Say something positive, please.